Guys, I finally broke my Soviet timepiece streak. So today I have a Plymouth made in the USA by Seth Thomas. This is Art Deco era, so it's from the 1940s, maybe the late 1930s. This is a quarter striking clock. I already have one other Plymouth that does quarter striking. However, I believe this one is a later design because it uses a different movement with a different design philosophy compared to the older one. This one seems to be fully reconstructed off of another design. This one does not use the 89 as a design reference. It appears that way. My other Plymouth uses a Seth Thomas 89IL movement, which is a variation of the 89 line. Anyways, I'll let you hear the chime now. So, if you didn't understand the striking pattern, 15 minutes past the hour is 1 ding-dong, 30 minutes past the hour is 2 ding-dongs, 45 minutes past the hour is 3 ding-dongs, and then for the hour, it uses one hammer only to sound the number of the hour. Now, because I bought this clock from the local clock shop, it really doesn't need to be opened. Here's the markings on the door if you want the directions, if you want to read that. So the way this operates is different from the original design, which I have in my room. That one has a fairly intricate snail at the front. However, this one utilizes two snails. So you have a snail connected to the hour train, and then you have a snail connected to the minute train. And the minute train snail is this one right here. Now, this piece here is connected to the rack. So this snail on the minute hand gears interacts with this piece here through the quarters. Only through the quarters. We'll get to the hours. So, this is 15 minutes past the hour. That allows the rack to drop into the 1 o'clock position. 30 minutes past the hour. That is 2 o'clock, technically, for the rack. 45 minutes past the hour, that is technically 3 o'clock for the rack. So the minute snail allows the rack only to drop into such a position that it activates the striking train for 1 time, 2 times, and then 3 times. And then after that, for the hour, there is this big slot here. Now this slot allows this piece not to hit anything, which allows the rack to actually interact with the hour snail and drop as far as it needs to drop. See there? And now this piece here, this little notch behind the minute snail, lifts this hammer up and that allows it to only strike on 1 rod rather than 2. So it does the quarter hours on 2 rods and the hour on 1 rod. So that's how this mechanism works. I'm not taking it out because I don't want to break something, because I just bought this, and the only problem that this clock really has is that this hammer is very bouncy. Now, I'm not entirely sure why. I believe what I could do to fix it is tighten this piece here so that it isn't dangling like this when it gets lifted up. But I don't want to mess with it right now. So it's something I am okay with. Sometimes if something works, you shouldn't try to fix it, because then it could not work at all. And with how thin those pieces of metal are, I don't really feel comfortable bending them back into shape, because I feel like something is going to snap. So I'm just going to leave it be. That is the best solution. On the movement, it is dated 42-2. Now, I'm not quite familiar with Seth Thomas dating, but I believe that is February of 1942, which would make sense given this clock's era. There is also a 4606 there. And also here on the case, there's this Z-34P. So there's the clock running. And there it is, set to the proper time. I know it's fairly minimalistic, but I really like it because Art Deco stuff fascinates me, as well as mid-century modern stuff. The 1800s era of clocks are fascinating as well, but the Art Deco and the mid-century modern eras have a more appealing design philosophy to me. What was considered modern then is really fascinating to me almost 100 years later. I like looking back in history and seeing what people considered modern for their time. I think that is extremely fascinating. So, I'll catch y'all later. And that clock's still going strong.